So, hi, it's me. Um, so I know you guys are dying to hear about this torch. I actually never heard about this torch until like 2 weeks ago. Thanks, Jamie. Um, and it is pretty amazing, actually. It's the only torch that has been approved by the New York Fire Department because after 9/11, you're not allowed to have tanks in your apartment. Now, I don't know why. For some reason, I wanted to try this machine out, and I could not find anyone in San Francisco who had this machine, just so I could see how it would work. So, which is why I just decided to just buy it because I can. Um, and also, it was for my peace of mind because I did not like the idea of having a gazillion tanks in my studio. Okay, so the Hydroflux welder, it is. I bought mine from Rio. I am not affiliated with Rio at all. Um, I just happened to choose to buy from them because they seem to know what they're talking about. I've spoken to like several other companies, and none of them really gave me a concrete idea. And a lot of them hadn't even touched it. So um, the guys I spoke to at Rio seem to really know what they're doing and what they're marketing. I have bugged them like crazy when I got this unit because of so many things. I was just a nervous wreck. The box is gonna come. Okay, so it comes in two boxes. One contains the welder, which is that. See, it's so nice and neat, and it takes up about, I'm gonna say about 10 inches of my desk, of my bench. Um, so that one comes in the one box, and then another box is strictly for the electrolyte solution, which I don't know where to put it. Okay. So this is the electrolyte solution. Okay, and it's very hazardous. Like the guy told me, once I put this in, like just rinse it out and do not use the container because it's super, it'll burn your skin basically. And he said that I had to be in full combat jewelry mode, like goggles, apron, rubber gloves. It's like freaking a nuclear bomb. But then again, now I know why he said that, because when I mixed it, so you mix that thing with a liter of distilled water, okay? And so I mixed it in a pitcher, and after mixing it, I realized why he told me that, because that pitcher, it was a glass pitcher, and the water was not warm at all, okay? And it burned. Like as if you took the pitcher out of your freaking microwave to boil water. Burned, okay? So he told me that to let it cool down at room temperature and make sure that it's thoroughly mixed. So in this case, I used a paintbrush. And so I mixed it, left it overnight. And the next day, I poured it into the chamber that it's supposed to go into. And then they also sent me the methyl alcohol and the flux solution. Okay, so this is the flux solution, so it's 300 grams. And you mix that in with the methyl alcohol with a 1 quart or 1 liter, and you're only using 1.5 grams. So 1.5 grams is a third of a teaspoon. It's freaking tiny, okay? So this is gonna last you forever, like till the day you die, okay? Um, so you mix that into the methyl alcohol, shake, shake, shake. You put it in your machine because there are three little what do you call them? Chambers. So I'm gonna show you a chamber. Oops. See? So you put your you put your electrolyte solution on that small silver one, and then you put the flux inside inside this one, and this contains your filler. Now the filler, it's like this weird. It almost looks like a cotton bud, like a bag of cotton buds. And so you put that in there so that the moisture, it pretty much absorbs the moisture. So you kind of change that every so often. Um, so yeah, that's really all you need to know. Now, like I said, I only found out about this torch 2 weeks ago, and I really don't know why more people aren't buying this torch. Because when you think about it, first people get deterred by the price because it is $12.50 compared to, let's say, a regular oxyacetylene or oxypropane setup. It would probably cost you, including your regulators, your tank, your hose, your torch, that would probably cost you about $400 roughly. Okay. Um, Not to mention, if you keep your gas in your apartment, your homeowner's insurance goes up. Okay, so you don't really want that. I personally do not want to deal with the hassle of having to spend more money on something that might potentially blow up my apartment. So this, for me, is my answer. Now, depending on who you talk to, I'm gonna say about 80% of the people I've spoken to really like it. 10% are kind of like it's okay, and then the other 10 really don't like it. According to um, the Rio people said that they sell these units in the East Coast all the time, and they've only gotten 2 returns, only because the jewelers couldn't figure out the setup. I don't know why, but whatever. Um, so for me, it's my peace of mind, and I like the fact that it's small. And oh yeah, that's another thing too. Like if you're doing a show, this is the unit that most jewelers carry with them, like at the JCK shows, stuff like that, because precisely because there are no tanks. Okay, so before I got this, I was just using my little creme brulee torch, woohoo, which pretty much everybody has, and it totally suits my needs, But when I start making stuff, it's kind of hard because you can't really get into those tiny little, like if you want to just solder a jump ring, you just have to solder the whole thing. It's just a hot mess, and you're gonna end up with this pile of like balls. Um, so a lot of people have said that it really depends on what you're making. So a lot of jewelers use it for repairs and small scale work. And, I spoke to Phil in Rio Grande, and I said, well, how big of a piece is a big piece? Because it depends, right? So he said, well, as long as you're not soldering a 2-inch Navajo cuff, which we all know contains a ton of metal, okay, you should be okay. So I said, well, if my pieces are bigger, can I just use my butane torch and then go in with the torch? And he's like, oh yeah, absolutely, okay. So which is why that pretty much sealed the deal for me. Now, okay, so now I'm going to show you the torch. Okay, so you got all your crap in there, you did everything, didn't spill anything, didn't burn your skin off. So I'm going to turn on the machine, okay? Oh yeah, and for you people who don't really know how this works, okay, I am not sure about the science behind this thing because I could give a shit. So, but basically the way I summarize it is the electrolyte solution that you put in splits up the oxygen and the hydrogen. So you split up the oxygen and the hydrogen, the gas builds up in the unit. Okay? And so when it's built up in the unit, that's when you turn on your torch. Okay? And this is pretty much the torch. I like it because it's really light and I feel like you have more control over it. I'm gonna turn on the unit now. It's pretty fun actually. So you're gonna hear that weird humming sound, and then the light is gonna go on. And so you can see this is your flux level, and this is your water level. You do not want to go over or below your levels because if it runs out of water, I think something really bad happens and it could potentially explode and destroy your 1250 investment. So you don't want that. And your flux level, you don't want it more than that because it will flood up your hose and it's kind of a hassle from what I hear to like take out all kinds of crap. Okay? So it's humming. The torch tips are ridiculously small. Okay? This is the biggest torch tip. Can you see it? Look at how freaking tiny that is. Okay? That's about an 18 gauge wire. It's small. Okay? The smallest tip, oh my god, ridiculous. It is a 30 gauge. Look at that. Look at how thin that is. That's like crack whore needle. And I shit you not. Like the flame is as big as the tip of my center punch or my soldering pick. It might even be smaller than the tip of my soldering pick. Okay, so it's really easy to put this on. You just kind of take your little tip and you just pretty much glue it on until it's snug. Okay, now so this is your valve for the gas. Okay, so you pretty much turn on your valve. I hear a hissing sound. So when you hear the hissing sound, that's kind of a good thing. And then you take your little lighter and you whoops. Okay, that is your torch tip. It looks pretty funky. I like it. I like the color. But that's as big as it's gonna get, folks, because again, your flame is determined by the torch tip. Okay? Now you cannot change torch tips in the middle of freaking soldering something. So you have to shut it off. And this is the only part I don't like about it because I do not like loud noises. It kind of makes a little pop, like you know those things that you buy in China down, like pop-pops? Okay, it makes a pop like that. See? So that's pretty much it. And then change your torch tip. So I'm gonna show you the flame of the teeniest one because it's ridiculous. I don't even know if you guys will see it. Okay. If you can even see this, because I can barely see it, that bright blue point, that is your flame. And that is it, folks. Like, you can solder any tiny jump ring. Somebody once told me that she soldered a spring ring that was attached to a necklace and it was fine. And that is pretty much it. I haven't used it much, obviously, because I got it yesterday. But yesterday, I was able to solder a 24 gauge copper, about 1 inch diameter, hollow bead. Okay, and I pretty much did not have problem soldering it. Like it heated up really fast. But then again, it's like one diameter, right? It heated up really fast, and your solder flows. Like I'm sure that if I had filed better, because it was really a crappy bead, um, if I had filed better, it would have gone much faster. And so I don't really know why everyone's complaining about the heat because it generates so much heat. And push comes to shove, you get your butane torch and you heat up your whole piece and then go in with your water torch. You know, I really like it. I think it's very useful. It's for my sanity and my peace of mind. I like the fact that it travels well, um, and it's safe. So I'm willing to spend a lot more for my safety than more than anything else. And when you really think about it, after a while, it really does pay for itself because let's say you have an oxypropane, oxyacetylene. You have to refill those tanks, and every time you refill those tanks, it's probably what $30 to refill one a tank, and then you have to drive it all the way to like the gas place to get it refilled. So you're technically using up your gas and your time and you're spending money. So eventually, it really does pay itself off when you really stop and think about it. Um, I think I think it's great. I think I'm gonna be making a lot more stuff now that I have this. Again, not affiliated with Rio at all. Um, but the tech support is really amazing. Like I bugged them all day yesterday, and Cestin, Phil, and Ashley. Like I spoke to them on the phone, and I chatted with them online, and they sent me emails. So they're very on it. So if you think about buying it, buy it from Rio. They even matched up the price for me. Like AutoFry was selling it for like $25 cheaper, so I was just like, oh, why is yours $25 more? And they're like, oh, no, 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 we'll match the price for you. So felt very confident in buying this machine. So it's just something to think about. Um, if you guys want to see it, you know where I live. Don't freaking stalk me and don't wake me up at 3 in the freaking morning to see this stupid torch. Yep, that's pretty much it. I guess I'll do more reviews of my tools because I like tools. Um, okay,